You are about to hear a sentence that could change everything. A sentence so simple you may doubt it. But do not measure its size. Measure the power it holds when repeated with belief. For what you speak before sleep becomes what you live when you rise. Ask yourself, are you satisfied? Do you rise with joy or dread? Do you walk in control or just react? Do you have the freedom to give your family what they need? The time to enjoy your days? The wealth to buy what you desire? If not, this may be the most important instruction you ever hear. Because the sentence I will give you is not motivation. It is not poetry. It is law. And if you repeat it before sleep, not once but daily, it will transform you from the inside out. You were not meant to struggle. You were not meant to suffer in silence. You were not meant to beg for time, for money, for relief. You were born with power. And that power is governed by the thoughts you choose and repeat when your conscious mind begins to sleep. For when you lie in bed at night, you are not resting. You are programming. Most men lie there repeating fear, worry, guilt, confusion. So they rise with more of the same. But the successful, the truly rich, their mind works while their body sleeps. And what they give it to think upon in that final hour becomes their new life. You say you want to leave your job. You say you want more time. You say you want to buy without guilt, give to your family, move like a man who owns his time. Then listen, not once, not casually. Listen deeply, repeatedly. Listen until the old you is removed and the new you is installed. Because if you do not master this hour before sleep, your family may suffer for your delay. They will not tell you, but they feel your tension. They see your uncertainty. And if you continue to live without control, they will inherit your limitation. You must not allow that. You must become the man who commands his world. If you fail to control your mind before bed, your future will be controlled by every old program that runs wild in your sleep. That means regret. That means years gone. That means dreams buried. But if you stay with me, if you hear this message often, you will begin to walk with clarity, with belief, with structure. You will look in the mirror and see the man you always knew you could be. So let this be the hour everything changes. Silence the world. Turn off distraction. Repeat this message every night. Because the man who masters this one nightly sentence and repeats it with faith cannot remain poor, cannot remain fearful, cannot remain small. He becomes rich in mind first and rich in life soon after. You may believe that wealth is earned during the hours of action. But I tell you now, riches are made in the hour when all the world goes silent, when the noise withdraws, when your conscious mind weakens and your subconscious awakens to do its real work. The hour before sleep is the workshop of wealth. It is during this sacred hour when the body prepares to rest and the world grows still that the subconscious becomes most accessible. The conscious guard stands down, the gates open, and what you place at the doorstep of your mind in that hour will walk freely into your soul. The last thought you feed it becomes the first brick in tomorrow's result. Yet most men go to sleep like beggars. They close their eyes with fear in their hearts, worry on their breath, confusion in their mind. They rehearse all that went wrong. They dwell on what they lack. They entertain every suggestion of defeat. Then they wonder why they wake with no fire, no clarity, no fortune. But the successful, the wise, the builders of empires, they do not close the day in confusion. They command the final hour. They give their subconscious no doubt to absorb, no fear to repeat, no failure to recreate. Instead, They offer it a definite aim spoken aloud with faith, reinforced by repetition. And the subconscious, like a loyal servant, obeys. The mind obeys repeated suggestion, especially when the conscious gate is quiet. That is the moment when your words enter not only your ears, but your entire identity. You may speak many things in the daylight, but it is what you whisper before you sleep that becomes who you are. You were not taught this in school. You were taught to solve problems, to grind, to push, to hustle. But no one told you that riches are not only the reward of labor. They are the response to mental law. And that law operates on belief fixed into the subconscious by repetition and faith. The subconscious never rests. While your limbs sleep, while your tongue is still, while your eyes are shut, the subconscious mind is awake, sorting, reviewing, associating, constructing. It pulls upon infinite intelligence and uses whatever material you fed it last. Garbage in, regret out. Purpose in, riches out. The most powerful material you can offer it is a clear, definite, faith-filled command spoken just before sleep. One sentence, one aim, one thought. If repeated nightly with belief, it becomes the code of your destiny. This is why I instruct every man to choose his definite chief aim, not merely as a desire, but as a command to self. And I tell him to read it aloud twice each day, once in the morning and once just before bed. But the second reading is more powerful than the first. Why? Because in the morning the mind is preparing to engage the world. It is surrounded by noise, pressure, distraction. But in the night, the mind is alone. It is quiet. It is soft clay. And what you impress upon it then hardens into habit, thought, and belief. The wealth you earn is planted in that stillness. Let me now give you an affirmation to repeat. Every night I impress my definite aim into my subconscious, and it obeys. Say it again, slowly. Let the words settle. For they are not poetry. They are instruction to the very mechanism that creates your life. The man who speaks this nightly and follows with action by day cannot be denied riches. He is obeying the same law that built every fortune you admire. You may ask, is it really that simple? I answer, yes. But simple does not mean easy. For to do this nightly without drifting, without forgetting, without replacing it with complaint, requires decision. The drifting man will not do it. The busy man will excuse it. But the definite man, he commands himself nightly. You do not wait until morning to decide what kind of man you will be. You decide it before bed. You do not wait until tomorrow to become rich. You declare it the night before. You do not rise with power if you sleep in fear. You sleep with power and rise in obedience to it. Let the world continue to doubt. Let others fill their last hour with entertainment, confusion, complaint. But you are now a man of intention. You are now a man who understands that mental discipline does not end at dusk. It begins there. Repeat your sentence before bed. Speak it slowly. Speak it with fire. Speak it as if your mind is a vault, and these are the words that unlock it, because they are. And if tonight you forget, return. If tonight you are tired, speak anyway. If tonight you feel doubt, shout it even louder. Because every night you persist, you are installing the gears of wealth within your soul. This is not entertainment. This is not theory. This is law. And if you obey it night after night without fail, you will not merely change your thinking. You will change your finances, your family, your future. Say it again. Every night I impress my definite aim into my subconscious, and it obeys. Now close your day with intention. Close your day with power. Close your day with command. For that is how riches begin. Not in the morning hustle, but in the silent hour when you tell your mind what it must become. Your final thought before sleep is not a whisper. It is a command. You may think it harmless to drift off thinking of the day's trouble, of unpaid bills, of who wronged you or what you failed to do. But that last thought is the seed from which your entire tomorrow grows. And most men plant weeds. They do not realize that the moment before sleep is the most powerful moment of mental suggestion. The conscious mind withdraws, the gates open, and the subconscious accepts without judgment whatever you feed it. It does not test. It does not argue. It simply accepts. And if what you give it is fear, confusion, or lack, you will harvest the same. The tired mind is more suggestible. In that final hour, you hold the golden key to condition the mind into power or poverty. That is why the successful treat this moment as sacred. They do not leave it to chance. They command it. They intend it. They speak a sentence that shapes their destiny and speak it until sleep takes them. The body may be asleep, but the mind is always working. What you give it in those last waking moments becomes the assignment it carries out all night. Whether to arrange plans, attract solutions, stir emotion, or strengthen belief, the mind obeys the last definite thought it received. Henry Ford, after suffering criticism and public failure, would not go to bed with defeat on his lips. He would sit even in silence and affirm the certainty of his aim. He would speak calm declarations to himself because he knew his mind needed to hear it again and again until it obeyed. Carnegie, too, held the practice of final hour intention. He did not speak of the present condition. He affirmed the vision of what would be. He understood that the subconscious cares not for the present. It only acts on what is declared as true, especially when declared with certainty and repetition. The unsuccessful go to bed with doubt. They review their failures. They dramatize their problems. They lie in the dark, repeating everything that could go wrong. Then they rise tired, heavy, unsure, confused, and call it fate. But it is not fate. It is untrained thought repeated at the wrong hour. You must replace drifting thoughts with declared thought. You must speak your chosen sentence aloud, not in whisper, not in passion, with purpose, with the same authority you would use to lead an army. Why? Because the subconscious is listening, and when it hears a master, it moves mountains. Let me now give you the method. Do not rush this. Do not change it. Obey it nightly, and you will rise with new identity. 1. Write your sentence. It must be definite. It must be clear. It must express the exact financial result, aim, or character you wish to embody. 2. Sit in silence. Turn off every light. Turn away from all noise. Let the room become still. Let your inner voice rise. 3. Speak it slowly with emotion, not once but as many times as necessary until it begins to feel like a memory, not a wish. 4. Let sleep come while repeating it. Do not stop speaking it inwardly, even as the body surrenders to rest. Let the sentence be the final impression before all thought fades. And I give you now an affirmation to support this. Each night I sleep, my mind works for me, arranging the riches I have demanded. This is not exaggeration. This is law. The subconscious is your silent partner. It works while you rest. But it only works on clear, repeated instructions. And those instructions must be given when the world is quiet, when all outside suggestion fades, and your voice is the only one that remains. You may think the day is the important part of success, but I say the night determines the day. For a mind that has been given a clear order while the world sleeps will move with more force when the sun rises. This is how the successful begin to walk differently, speak differently, Act differently before the riches even appear. If you forget one night, return the next. If your voice trembles, speak louder. If you doubt, declare with more certainty. For each night you do this, the sentence carves itself deeper into the clay of your mind, and soon it will be fired into iron. Let me remind you again. Each night I sleep, my mind works for me, arranging the riches I have demanded. Say this until your heart believes it. Say it until your body feels it. Say it until no part of you remains uncertain. For this is not hope. It is a command issued in the court of your own soul. And once the subconscious receives the order, it begins building the result. Repeat this process every night for the next 30 days. Do not alter your sentence. Do not add to it. Do not subtract. One sentence, one voice, one aim. Repeat it until your outer world can no longer deny the inner instruction. You are not merely speaking words, you are rewriting identity. You are not simply repeating ideas. You are training the unseen laws of mind and matter to obey your definiteness. That is how the world is changed. That is how wealth is attracted. That is how men rise by night before they rise by day. You are the commander now. You have the formula. The only question that remains, will you obey it nightly? Or will you fall asleep with the same thoughts that have held you back for years? Say your sentence. Sleep with it. Let it walk into your soul. And wake with the quiet power of a man who is now becoming. The hour before sleep is not for rest. It is for command. This is not theory. This is law. And if you obey it night after night without fail, you will not merely change your thinking. You will change your finances, your family, your future. Now say this as your oath. I command my mind before sleep. I speak only what I choose to become. And each day I rise in obedience to the man I have declared. Say it again. And when this speech ends, do not return to the old routine. Return to the sentence. Return to the mirror. Return to the truth. You are what you repeat. And you are now the man who repeats only what builds, what commands, what becomes. Let others sleep in fear. Let others hope. You command, you build, you rise. Now begin. Choose the sentence. Repeat it tonight. Repeat it every night. And let your whole life obey it. You have now received the final command. Do not break it. Do not forget it. Do not drift. You are the master now. The mind is yours. The voice is yours. And soon the wealth will be too.